All right, y'all. What time is it? It is story time. Okay, so story time. I've never really. I think I've done like a few on here, and forgive my eye. My eye is giving me issues, honey. Giving me fever, and that's because spring is about to sprung out here in Texas, and my allergies are acting up. So that's why if I look a little glassy, that's what it is. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, for commenting, for subscribing. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I know that I don't have a huge following. I know I'm not, know, as consistent as I could be or should be, but I'm really trying to work on that. So, without further ado, let's go into the story time. So, the story time, as you can tell by the title, the story time is about that one time, honey. This person literally tore me out the frame. Okay, so let me get started. So it was Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve 2020. Okay, now I know we are in the middle of a pop of pepperoni, but I'm just gonna be real. I was on certain sites, a site that rhymes with Madam, and I was on a site and I was looking for something to do or someone to do, I should say. So this guy approaches me, and I'm not going to use his actual name. I'll just call him Diabolique. And Diabolique approaches me, and we're talking, we're conversing. And he's like, hey, since you're looking for something and I'm looking for something, why don't we link up? So I'm like, you know what? Why not? I'm not really doing anything for Christmas or Christmas Eve. So he comes over. Now, mind you, this is early in the morning. This is like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why people on the site that rhymes with Adam, no. People on the site that rhymes with Madam, uh, were looking for something that early in the morning. But he was. So he comes to my house and he comes to my house. I look at him. Beautiful man. Now, mind you, we exchange photos, so he knows what he's working with. I know what I'm working with. We're good. So we exchange pictures and stuff, and he comes to my house. He was gorgeous, gorgeous guy. Oh, and did I mention he was younger? He was 27, I think. No, he was 25. 25, and beautiful, just beautiful body, gorgeous. And he sat down on my couch and he talked. We didn't go right into the act. He literally told me some of his life story, which I actually appreciated. And he was extremely forthcoming. He was very transparent with me. He was very like, listen, it turns out he was bisexual. He had a child, I think. I think he had like 2 kids. His mother, his the you know the mother of his children knew that he was bi and everything, and he was open. Like he was open about a lot of stuff, which I was not expecting. But oftentimes, as a side note, oftentimes with guys, when the men that I tend to attract or the men that I tend to do encounters with, they are like, I could really just talk to you. And before I know it, they told me their whole story. I don't know if it's because of the energy I exude. I don't know if it's because I look like, an Ewok. I don't know. But but they feel comfortable enough to tell me their truths and things like that. So, and he claimed to be very spiritual, which he said that was one of the things about me that he was attracted to, because in my profiles on the site that rhymes with Madam, or in my profile, I should say, I actually have that that I'm a psychic, I'm a life coach, that I'm a spiritual, I have all that in there because I feel like you might as well be honest. And he knew that I was disabled, which I'm actually going to do on a side note. I'm actually going to do a series about dating, relationships, and hookups being disabled. Just my experiences. So, excuse me. So we're talking and vibing, and it was nice. It was actually really cool. And we're just talking, vibing, and Diabolic, beautiful chocolate brother, built like a football player, not fat, not thin, but right in the middle. Very just solid. Like I could have ran into him and he wouldn't have moved. And this is just the kind of men I like too. Even though hey, I don't mind men who are thinner or whatever, but yeah, I like a little bit of a bear. I'm not gonna lie, say it out. A little bit of little bit of a solid bear. Yeah. But anyway, so we're talking, and one thing leads to another. And the only thing he didn't do, and I understood this, he was not into kissing. And he told me, he said, the reason why I'm not is because I feel that he felt that kissing was reserved for when you're in a relationship with somebody. And I was like, okay, I can respect that. And I can, because kissing is a very intimate act for certain people. It is for me. And it's like the old saying, you never kiss a tree. Okay. So anyway, so we getting down to business. He's, you know, rubbing me and touching me and sucking on things. And I'm just like, yes, yes. Okay, and kissing my chest and my nipples and things. So I'm like, come on, come through, goddess. Come through. And I'm having a grand old time, honey, just giving them all the phone 6 months. Just giving him everything he needs. And so we get down to business. Now, mind you, we're in my living room. So my ancestor altar is seeing this, my shrine, my grandmama, my grandpapa, my daddy, and my aunt. And all my other ancestors are seeing me getting it in, okay? It literally on my living room floor. So I'm literally on my area rug on my living room floor. We're getting, just bucket naked. Okay. And he proceeds to go downtown on me. Okay. Now, if y'all are not into graphic things, you might want to clear out now. I should say that earlier, but oh well. So he's going downtown on me, honey. And I'm like, yes, yes. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm like this. The reason why is because I don't know if it's because I live in Houston. I don't know if it's me. Listen. I don't know if it's the kind of men that I tend to attract, but majority of the men that I've been with have a problem with, you know, they can eat chicken fried steak, but they won't eat something else. Okay. So I'm like, but this one, he didn't have no problem. Diabolique was just going to town. And he was doing his thing, honey, and he just opened my legs and just ate the cake, honey. And I'm just like, yes, yes, God, yes, hallelujah, hallelujah, yes. I'm happy. Okay, I see because I'm free. I'm free because I'm happy, honey. So he's, doing his thing, and he tends to, honey, he bent me over and made me arch my back, and then he started, giving me fellatio from the back. I'm like, oh, okay, just life. I'm just like, oh, this is what I've been asking for. Yes, God, Jesus, Allah, all y'all, thank you so much. I'm happy. Okay, so we then leave my living room because I was like, listen, I think my ancestors have seen enough of this, and they've got enough sexual energy for one day. So we leave and we go into my bedroom. So go to the bedroom, we on the bed. Now mind you, our clothes are outside. So we're on the bed. We in the bed. And he asked me, he said, well, do you prefer to have protected sex, or do you prefer to use condoms? And I told him, I said, well, I prefer to use condoms. And I'm just gonna be honest, most of the time when I tell men that, I either get a rejection or I get, oh, condoms cause me issues. Excuse me. Like for a lot of guys, and I don't know if this is true because I'll just be real. Well, You know what? No, that's actually, I won't say that I don't know that that's true because I have top before. And for those that don't know, topping basically means a person that penetrates. I am team bottom. I'm the one that gets penetrated. Okay. So let me, just let me clear that up. So, um, he, I tell him that I'd rather use condoms. He respects it, which I loved. He was just like, okay, I respect that, and I took out my magnums and, oh, let me tell y'all something else. And I am now, let me say this, let me preface this by saying, I am not a size queen. Okay. I am not. But I will say this. He was packing some nice wood. That's all I'm gonna say, honey. It was good enough for me. And it was uncut. And I'm not a cut versus uncut kind of person. I'm really not. I don't care. Because to me, it's not the meat, it's the motion to me. Because I've been with men that have quote unquote size or length or girth. And let's just say, just because you got a big hot dog, don't mean it's gonna be tasty and you know how to put it in the bun. Okay. So he gets the condoms, he gets the lube. I'm nice and lubed up. I'm ready to go. I got my arch on, ready to give it, ready to give him this, this thicker than oatmeal body, honey. Just ready to give it all. Okay. So he tends to do his thing, and mind you, I'm like, okay, and then after a while he went and he was like, he went inside, and then after a while I'm like, okay, okay, hey, just breathing, breathing it through, trying to make sure, don't, and then he went a little deeper, and I'm like, oh my God, you hurt me, and I told him, I was like, listen, this hurts, and then he was like, boy, you really are tight, and I'm like, now prior to he and I meeting. I told him that. I said, listen, I haven't done it in a while. It's been a minute. Uh, I'm pretty tight back here. So you might want to, you know, slow down. You know, you don't got nowhere to go. So he's like, okay, so more lube, more lubrication, and slow. And then before I know it, he's doing his thing. Now, mind you, the whole time I'm trying to get into it and everything, he's hurting me, but I'm not telling him, okay, this hurts. You know, like it. Okay, how do I put it? He was hurting me, but at the same time, it was like a pleasurable pain. If that makes any sense. People that are team bottom, comment below. I know you understand what I'm saying. So part of me was like, okay, this hurts, but it feels good. This hurts, but it feels good. And so then, we're doing our thing, and then all of a sudden, the condom breaks. And I'm like, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, And we stopped. And he's like, oh my God, the condom broke. So we stopped. We ended up switching, getting another condom. He puts it on, lubricate, everything. And then he does it again. We're getting back into the groove. And then that's when he starts to just go home. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm praying to every guy I know. I'm like, okay, okay, mama didn't raise no bitch. All right, we go, so I'm gritting my teeth. And this is me. Saying, because I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. So I'm like, oh my God, gritting my teeth. And then he finally finishes. And I have to admit, this was okay. This is gonna sound but it's true. Uh, I have to admit, I love it when guys use condoms because I love the snap. I love to hear that that click that happens when you take the condom off. And he took the condom off, and then he just frosted all over my cake, honey. And I was like, that was kind of nice. And so we're done. And he's like, now mind you, we're done, we're talking, we're cleaning up. And he's like, so do you want to go again? And I'm like, no, because I'm like, well, I have clients, and because Christmas Eve, believe it or not, for me, is a very busy day. So I was like, I have clients, and I'm hurting a little bit. And I didn't tell him this, but I was like, I'm in a little bit of pain. And I noticed it when I was cleaning myself up that I was like, this feels weird. So he leaves and excuse me. So, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, this feels kind of weird, but I'm like, I did just get, banged out. So of course it's gonna feel kind of odd. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. So I clean myself up, he cleans himself up, we leave, or he leaves, and that's the end of that, right? No big deal. Okay, so fast forward to maybe 2 days after he left. So 2 days after our encounter with each other, I noticed that the pain necessarily that I had the first time when I was with him isn't going away. And I'm noticing that it hurts to sit. Like I'm literally like, it hurts to sit down. Or if I did sit, I couldn't sit for a long period of time. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I said, well, let me do that old school trick. And for those of you who've never done this, who've never experienced this, or you have, take notes, okay? So I said, well, let me pull out my old great grandmama, book of remedies. So I basically go, I give me some apple cider vinegar, some Epsom salt, and some baking soda. And I literally sit in a tub, I soak in a tub with Epsom salt, baking soda, and apple cider vinegar. And not very much apple cider vinegar for those of you who are alarmed, but just like a capful. And that helped. So that helped a little bit. So I was like, okay, no big deal. And I'm like, okay, everything's fine. And then it would flare up again. The pain would flare up again. And I'm like, okay, I don't like this. And then whenever I would go number two, it would hurt. Like it literally felt like somebody put glass up my ass. And I'm like, oh, like I never experienced this kind of pain. So I'm like, okay, hopefully in like 7 days this will go away. So I'm giving it time. And while time is slowly passing me by, I'm praying to every God, goddess, spirit, everybody. I'm giving them all kinds of sacrifice offerings. I'm like, let me give you your oranges, Oshun. Ogun, let me give you your white gin, honey. Let me give you oh no, your white rum, let me give you some from the sea, let me give you some water. Like I'm literally just because I'm like, I don't know what this is. I've never experienced this. So I also started to notice that when I go number one, I can go, but I don't have a steady flow, if that makes any sense. I don't have a steady stream. So I'm like, this is odd. And I literally had to force myself to use the bathroom. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, I might have a urinary tract infection. So I go, I'm Instacart and stuff, because believe me, I'm not going anywhere during the pop-up run. So I'm like, well, let me Instacart some UTI stuff. So I get some UTI stuff and drinking plenty of water, and that helped a little bit. So I was like, well, maybe that's what this is. It's a urinary tract infection. And so I'm like, okay, days pass. And I would say on the seventh day, I said, you know what? This is getting weird. I can't sit. It hurts to go number two. I can barely go number one without having to strain myself. This feels odd. What is this? So I finally call this place called Dispatch Health. Shout out to Dispatch Health. If you know who they are, they're great. They basically are nurses that are on call, and what they'll do is they'll come to you, because I didn't feel comfortable going into a hospital or going into a urgent care with everything going on. So I said, no, I'll stay home. So they come, and two sweet nurses, they come, and I'm like, thank you so much, And the first nurse, I forgot her name, but I see her face. She was a young Nigerian lady, and she was like, okay, what is the problem? Now, mind you, she didn't talk like this. I'm just doing it for a fact. And she was like, okay, what is the problem? And I'm like, okay, the problem is when I go use the bathroom, I have to strain to use the bathroom. It hurts to go number two, and it hurts to wipe my bum. I'm like, it hurts. I feel raw down there. I don't like this. Okay. And so she's like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to test your urine, and we are going to have you give us this little sample. Can you give us a sample? So I do that. I give them the samples they need. They test it. They're like, well, your urine's fine. And they're like, okay, well, what else are you experiencing? And I'm like, well, I have issues with my soldiers saluting. And I'm just being honest with y'all. And when I go to take care of myself, when I go to dance with myself, as Billy Idol would say, it hurts. It stings. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. So this is my thinking. Okay. My thinking in my head is, granted, though we use condoms and we were protected, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this motherfucker, Diabolical then gave me a nasty woman's disease. Okay. I'm thinking I'm gonna be like Sugar from Color Purpose. Like I got that nasty woman's disease. So I'm thinking, and while they're here, because they were really nice, but they were really kind of stiff. So I was trying to be funny, and I was like, "Well, ooh, do I have to go into Viagra's? I'm gonna have to go into Viagra's, y'all. Do I have to go into Viagra's?" And and they're like, and the nurse, she was like, "Well, we're going to give you a shot. We're going to give you a shot for chlamydia and what was it? Chlamydia and gonorrhea." So I go into So mind you, you can't, they didn't have a table or whatever. So they used my bedroom. So here I am in my bedroom, if you can imagine, ass out, literally. And I'm bent over on the bed like this, waiting for her to give me the shot. She gives me the shot, little prick, and she's like, okay. And they get the samples they need. And she's like, well, what we're also going to do, we're going to give you antibiotics, and we suggest you get some Midorlax. Midorlax will take care of the bloating. Because at that time, I had a really puffy stomach. And she was like, is this normal for you? Are you always this puffy? And I'm like, no. She's like, yeah, get you some Midorlax and get your stool softening up. So I did that, got those two things, and my results came back. And she was like, I think what you have, because my results came back negative, so I didn't have any STDs or STIs. And she was like, but I think you have an anal fissure. And for those of you that don't know, that basically means an anal fissure is basically when you have a rip, like a tear in your anus. So I'm literally thinking, this Diabolic bastard, though it was nice, aside from the pain afterwards, tore my stuff out the frame, y'all. Literally out the frame. I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, I really? But then it made me, and let me also say this, after I took the Miralax and everything, the antibiotics, I was fine. So everything is A-okay. I'm good now. I'm real good now. But I learned a lot. And the lesson from that was, even if you are an experienced, and what I mean by this is, even if you are experiencing the fact that you've had sex, there's still more to learn, and you have to learn your body. So what I started really doing was taking better care of myself, eating better, eating things with fiber, taking fiber supplements, drinking plenty of water. Now, here's why I want you to take your notes, or as the late Lisa Lopez say, do your math. Okay, so if you are on the receiving end, okay, and you're watching me tell this story time, here's what I need you to do. Okay, drink plenty of water. One, two, take fiber or eat foods that are high in fiber. All right. Three, take a stool softener. Basically, what it does is that softens your number two. So that way, when you go number two, you don't have to strain. It doesn't hurt. Um, Number four, take probiotics. You can get them in capsule. You can get them in chewable form. You can get them in certain foods. Take those because it really will help you with your stomach, and it'll help you so that way you don't have uh, GI infections, GI tract infections. And most of all, importantly, buy you some, invest in some adult toys. And here's why I say that. Because the one thing I did not do was I didn't prep myself for what I was about to experience. And I know a lot of us are watching these OnlyFans people, and we're watching people on Just for Fans and Pornhub and all that. I understand that. I get that. However, that's not real. That's We don't see the stuff they go through before they do all that, the prep. Okay. So I advise my receiving friends, if you receive the D, buy you some toys. Seriously. Loosen yourself up. It don't mean that you nasty. It don't mean that you got something wrong with you if you got a loose batanga, okay? Whatever you want to call it, your bussy, your gussy, your mussy, your muffy, your stuffy, whatever you want to call it, your cookie, your goodie, loosen it up because it will help. It will save you so much injury and so much pain. Because once I started to implement these things into my routine from a sexual perspective, um, it helped a lot. And it really made me enjoy being on the receiving end better because I now realize I was like, okay, I have to really prepare. And of course, you have to prepare with things like cleanliness and all that. Of course, that's just a given. But some people don't know it either, so I may do a video about that too. But you definitely have to prepare in terms of relaxing your body because I think one of the reasons why, now that I look back on it, I think one of the reasons why I ended up getting the injury I got was because my body was not relaxed. I was ready, my body was not. So that's why I'm saying if you choose to receive, whether you are full bottom, verse, whatever you are, whatever label you identify or relate to, or whatever position you choose to play, be prepared. Take care of yourself. And this goes for people who are on the giving end too. Eat right. You know what I mean? Make sure you eat right. Make sure you know, wash yourself. Personal hygiene is a big one. Make sure that the things you eat are good for you. Eat plenty of pineapples. Eat celery. Eat I'm trying to think. Eat papaya. Things like that. Put oil in that area. Oil up your body. Exfoliate. Take the dead skin off your body. Do all. Take care of yourself because you only get one. You only get one body, honey. You might as well take care of it. And I'm not gonna lie, that particular part, having an injury was really scary for me because I thought because believe it or not, you can get STDs even if you use a condom. So I'm thinking in my head like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You know what I mean? I did panic. I'm not gonna lie to you, but luckily for me and the gods above and below, everything turned out to be fine. But I learned a lot about my body and what it will do and what it will not do, and that you have to kind of help it along. It's not like we watch in the adult industry where we see them and they're just, bam, they're just, no, that's not real life. Okay. So that's all I wanted to come on here and say. I hope you guys have enjoyed the story time. I know it was a bit graphic and I'm sorry, but I just wanted to come on here and share it and yeah, comment on it. Leave your comments below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna try to be as consistent as I can. I am very inconsistent, but my thing is I want us to, even when I am on here on a consistent basis, I want us to have fun and to learn. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit more insight into me and into my life. So I hope you've enjoyed it and I will talk with all of you soon. Have a good one. Bye bye.